Dear students, today we are going to start with the topic definite integration. Already you have studied the topic integration. All the rules are known to you. Now let us study definite integral or definite integration, in which we are going to study first of all the definition of definite integration and then properties of definite integral. So let us see the introductory part here. We know that if f of x is a continuous function of x, then there exists a function phi of x such that phi dash of x is equal to f of x. Means if you know the derivative of one function, as suppose a function is phi of x such that derivative of phi dash of x is equal to suppose f of x, and in this case we know that phi of x is an integral of f of x with respect to x. Means you know the antiderivative concept. Means if the derivative of phi dash of x is equal to f of x, then integration of f of x is equal to, it is denoted by integration of f of x dx is equal to phi of x plus c. So this is the concept of antiderivative. Now if we restrict the domain of f of x to open interval ab, means here in this case if the given function is restricted in the certain interval of the real number, say it is a to b, open interval a to b, then the difference between phi of b minus phi of a is called definite integral of f of x with respect to x on the interval, close interval ab, and it is denoted by, see here, a to b f of x dx. Okay, so thus a to b f of x dx is obtained as phi of b minus phi of a, where integration of f of x is phi of x. So the numbers a and b are called limits of the integration, where a is referred to as the lower limit and b is called as upper limit of the integral. So note that the domain of the variable x is restricted to the interval, open interval ab, and a and b are finite numbers. So this is the introduction of definite integration. Now let us study the fundamental theorem of integral calculus. So it is given as, let f be a continuous function defined on open interval ab, and suppose the integration of f of x dx is equal to phi of x plus c. Means integral is known to you. How will you get definite integration? If you define it from a to b, then see how it is written here. I will show it by writing here. Okay, so let us see now. So see here, fundamental theorem of integral calculus. If a function f is continuous on close interval ab, and if it is given that integration of f of x dx is suppose phi of x plus c, you know this very well. This is called as indefinite integration. Now as the function f is defined on close interval ab, then fundamental theorem of integral calculus says that if you integrate this from a to b, means you have to write like this, then what will you get? See, integration of f of x from a to b will be, see, I have to write phi of x here, as we know that the integration. And how will you solve this? You have to write a and b here, and just to get the definite answer here, we have to put upper limit in that value of the integration. So it will be phi of b, then minus, we have to put the lower limit in place of x. So after getting the integration of f of x as phi of x, we have to put the upper limit first and then minus lower limit. So this is the procedure to get the definite answer of that integration, and that's why it is called as definite integration. So phi of b minus phi of a, you will get the definite value of that integration. Now today we will solve some basic examples related to this concept, that is the concept of definite integration. So I will take one simple example to understand that concept. So let us see one example. I will write one example here. Suppose if it is given that integration from, evaluate the integration from, suppose 1 to 2, and the function is x square dx. Okay, now how will you solve this? See in answer. First of all, I have to integrate the x square by using usual rule. So here I will consider I is equal to integration 1 to 2. See, x square is defined from 1 to 2. Now by usual rule, that is integration of x square will be x cube upon 3. Now after getting the integration, to get the definite answer, I have to write it in square bracket, where I will write the 1 here and 2 here. Now what to do here? Next I will keep 1 by 3 outside, and in bracket I will keep x cube, and then from 1 to 2. Now next I will write 1 by 3 as it is. Now as that theorem says, we have to put the upper limit, that is here upper limit is 2 in place of x, so it will be 2 cube, then minus we have to put lower limit, so it will be 1 cube. Now after this you will get the definite answer, that is 1 by 3 as it is. Now in bracket what will you get? 2 cube is 8 minus 1 cube is 1, so that's why we get 8 minus 1, that is 7 by 3. So this is the definite answer that we get, because the function is restricted to the interval from 1 to 2, and hence this is called as the definite integration. So all the rules of the integrations are same, just you have to do the procedure by taking the upper limit and lower limit in that after getting that integration. Okay, and then that's why you will get the definite answer here. Okay, so this is the detailed procedure to get the definite answer. Now see the next example which is given in your textbook. Evaluate the integration from minus 2 to 3, 1 upon x plus 5 dx. Now see how will you solve the answer. So let us take I is equal to integral from minus 2 to 3, 1 upon x plus 5 dx. Now first of all evaluate the integration. Now as we know that integration of 1 upon x is equal to log of modulus of x, right? So here also we have to apply that. So the integration of 1 upon x plus 5 will be log of modulus of x plus 5 divided by the derivative of x plus 5, but it is 1. So the integration is completed, but as the limits of the integrations are given to you, so here I will write 3 at minus 2, and then here I will write 3. Now by the procedure, first of all I have to put in place of x, I have to put the upper limit. So we get log of modulus of 3 plus 5, then minus I have to put log of modulus of, here in place of x I will put lower limit, so minus 2 plus 5. Okay, now see the calculation here. We get log of here 8 minus, here you will get log of 5 minus 2, that is 3, and hence by logarithmic rule this can be written as log of 8 upon 3. Okay, so we get again the definite answer here like this. Okay, see how to solve this. Just you take the integration by using usual rules that already you have studied in previous topic, and then just you put the upper limit first in place of x minus, then put the lower limit, and then by using this you can simplify, or you can use the rule of logarithm here to get log of 8 upon 3. Now see, there is one modified question here. It is given that integral from 0 to a 2x plus 1 dx is, suppose it is equal to 2, then find the real values of a. Modified question is given to you. You know the procedure. First of all, I will write given here. Given that the integration from 0 to a, lower limit is 0, upper limit is a, and 2x plus 1 dx is equal to 2. It is given to you. We have to find out the value of a here. So what will you do here? First of all, evaluate the integration by normal procedure. Okay, so here I will separate the integration here. So integration from 0 to a, integration of 2x dx plus integration from 0 to a 1 dx. It is given that it is equal to 2. Now how will you evaluate the integration of 2x here? 2 as it is into integration of x is x square upon 2. Okay, plus next is integration of 1. Integration of 1 is x. Now totally, so integration is completed now, and I have to put that in square bracket, and here below it is 0 and above it is a, and it is given that it is equal to 2. Now here 2 and 2 will get cancelled, so just you will get here x square will remain here plus x, and it is from 0 to a is equal to 2. So see the steps carefully here. Just to solve the LHS means solve the integration. Now as per our procedure, first of all we have to put a square a here, so that will be a square plus a, then minus, in place of x we have to put 0, so 0 square plus 0, and it will be a. Now what will you get here? Sorry, here it is equal to, right hand side is 2. Now hence we get a square plus a, now this is 0 and it is equal to 2. So hence we get a square plus a minus 2 is equal to 0. Now solve this quadratic equation. So after solving the LHS by usual way, we get a square plus a to the left hand side, and right hand side is given to you, it is equal to 2, and hence we get the quadratic equation. Now solve this quadratic equation by splitting the middle term. It will be a square, then a square as it is, and in here we have to split the middle term here. Middle term is a, and we require the product minus 2, so it will be plus 2a minus 2 is equal to 0. So you will get the factors here, a into a plus 2 minus 1 into a plus 2 is equal to 0. That's why we get two factors here usually as we solve like this, and hence after solving this, a minus 1 is equal to 0 or a plus 2 is equal to 0. Hence we get a is equal to 1 or a is equal to minus 2. So the real values of a are, so answer, final answer you can write a is equal to 1 and minus 2. So the questions like this are also important from your exercise. If the integration is given to you, the answer is given to you, just how to find out the value of a here. So see, try to solve this type of questions also. Okay, so the definite integration, in the definite integration the integration is same, just you have to write the last answer by keeping upper limit first and then lower limit. In that integration you will get the definite value of that integration. So that is the main concept of the definite integration. So today we will stop now. Okay, thank you.